here. You know, I was watching a show tonight. I think it's the CW, or maybe it's Freeform. I forget. Don't ask me why I watch these shows. I guess I just want to be offended or something. But I was watching freaking something called The Bold Type, which had an actress from Chasing Life and another actress I like from freaking Faking It. Why I'm watching those shows, I mean, this thing is just layered with freaking things about this is feminist, that's feminist, blah 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 blah. But I don't even want to get into talking about being Mary Jane tonight. Oh man, Black Lives Matter. Get the fuck out of here with that. Anyway, I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, this whole thing is about freaking breast cancer, and the girl is a media consultant, so she gets on there talking about free the nipple and stuff, and it's like, okay, now, I guess I'm supposed to be a social conservative, I guess, but I kind of go with the free the nipple thing. Of course, I think the reason I do that is because I'm a boob aficionado. I saw the movie Altered States when I was a kid, and it was like, boobies! We used to friggin' watch. I mean, we used to friggin' couldn't get a hold of Playboys or anything when it was the 70s and I was a kid. So, you always knew, no matter what shape they were in, and what kind of person they were, from what distant corner of life, you could go into a thrift store and friggin' find piles and piles of National Geographic and that little yellow magazine. Sooner or later, you'd find friggin', Southeast Asian, Malaysian, South American, sometimes friggin' down to their friggin' elbows, boobies! I think that's how that magazine actually made it, right? But anyway, I heard of this freaking, not just the slut walk thing, because I used to consider myself not post-scarcity futures, sex positive feminist. Because I support women's rights. I'm not a traditionalist. I kind of am about it, but I'm like, okay, I like porn, so what's wrong with freaking supporting equality, even though a lot of people say, yeah, the equality of being a slut, but I guess there's a law in, I forget what the show was filmed, or at least where it was supposed to be portraying itself from. I think it's New York, and I guess it's legal for women to go topless. But they show freaking these girls walking through the park like it's nothing, but topless. And it's like, I think the reason we have to understand this is because gender isn't a social construct. It's directly tied to sex, and sexuality in the human species is why we're mammals. It's tied to mammaries. It's tied to those two freaking hunks of freaking flesh, that are right there. And it's like, okay, and she went through all this thing, talking about, oh, well, you show Greek statues, and that's not a problem, and you show men, and that's not a problem. But I think the reason is because feminism is the social construct. So, that's why men, well, if it's a male-dominated culture, then it's the men that are, well, maybe it is because because the biology matches the gender. I know people's head will explode when I say this, but because men look at freaking boobs, they go, boobies! Let me ask you. I think it's unfair because I agree with Free the Nipple. I like women looking at women's tits, you know? But let me ask you something. Does this do anything for you? Woo! Maybe freaking some of my gay viewers, but because they love fatties. I mean, you know what I got? I probably got an A cup here, you know? More side boob than freaking that. God, what am I doing? Anyway, you know, what? I think this was the not so bold type. Because I watched this whole episode, and the irony was, they didn't even show any boobs! What's a poor fat little misogynist gonna do? Yeah. Oh well, at least I Googled them. At least I Googled them on freaking Mr. Skin, or actually nudography, to see if they actually did show any tits and any things. I think a couple of them did. Thank you, Internet. Good night.